Hello, welcome to the first of these short videos which I'm making to give you some feedback on your comments on the discussion boards. I hope to make one of these every week. We'll see how we go. As you can probably guess, I'm just doing this on my cell phone and the quality may not be great. We'll see how it works out. So the first question I wanted to give feedback on was on the chapter discussion, the question about similarities and differences between Americas, Europe and Africa in terms of their societies. One of the main differences I think you all got was similarities rather that you all got was they were all agricultural societies. This may seem like it's stating the obvious, but agriculture is a relatively recent development in human history. In my 111 class, we talk about how it emerged in the Middle East about 10,000 years ago. Not all societies are agriculturalists. Some are hunter-gatherer societies. Europe was almost entirely agricultural by about 1500. Likewise, the Middle East, much of Africa. In the Americas, many but not all societies were agricultural societies, so that's one key difference. And emerging out of agriculture, we tend to see things like settled populations with some degree of social structure going on, some degree of social hierarchy, perhaps religious practices, and so on. So that's a key similarity. A difference is, well, firstly, there's differences among Native American societies. Not all Native Americans were the same. We tend to make generalizations, but there were very different societies. For example, the Aztecs in what's now Mexico were a society with big cities and temples and kings and so on. The Europeans, although they saw in some ways very alien society when they reached Mexico, they got Mexico in some ways. They got that there were temples and priests and kings. It looked like societies they were used to, albeit they were shocked by things like human sacrifice and people not following the Christian God. Peoples within what now is the United States included the Mississippians, who again had at Cahokia in what is now Illinois, I think I've remembered that right, had a temple structure, a big town, the center of a big trading network. In the southwest, the Pueblo people, or Anasazi, as they were known by the native population, were a people with, again, large settlements and complex irrigation structures. They made agriculture in a desert area in what today we call the southeast United States. However, in the eastern woodlands people, we encounter people who were only semi-agriculturalists. They supplemented their agriculture with hunting and gathering, like older societies. To Europeans, these people looked rather different from what they were used to. They saw people who did not have a complex religion or a complex social structure. They like to dub people kings or priests. Some of the images you see in the chapter show Europeans trying to make sense of native religious rituals and even inventing or elaborating. Wow, the sun's bright. I'm sorry, this shadow coming across me is going to make this a little hard to see at this point. And so they drew idols, as they called them, statues for worship, things which were perhaps not necessarily true of Native American religion, but which they elaborated on. As far as they were concerned, there were Christians who were good, and there were non-Christian religions which were not acceptable. And so they made them seem more exotic and savage by having them dancing around, worshipping statues, etc., etc., when the accounts of the first Europeans who encountered these people don't mention anything like that, and some of the earlier drawings don't even show that.